Welcome back to Kitchen Talk with Andy and Shelley Bailey while we jump into part 2 of the power of positive thinking. The most successful people reach the top not because they are free of limitations, but because they act in spite of their limitations.
Always have more vision and expectation than you have ability. We always want to be stretched. If you have your goals, your vision based on where you're at or what you think your limitations are, you're never going to go any further than that. We want to be stretched. We want to be, taken to a different level. So I always want to have my goals, my vision for myself to be more than I think I have as far as ability, because I want to increase my ability and take myself to another level.
That's so true. And that's, thinking about that makes me think about how valuable and important it is to have mentors, people that we can have pour into us that can share knowledge and direction and a lot of things, of whether that's with work or your personal life.
And having someone that you can trust that will also be allowed to show you where you may have blind spots that you don't even see, that may be an area that you need to work on, but you don't even know that it's there, hence the word blind spot. But you have to be able to accept that and know that they're wanting the best for you, and wanting you to grow in that area, and not have that be something that continues to get worse and worse.
Right. So good. Optimism is a happiness magnet. If you stay positive, good things and good people will be drawn to you. I'm drawn to you, Andy.
Well, I'm not always optimistic. I try to be, but I do get in moments where I react instead of taking a moment and thinking through things, and be slow to react. And usually when that happens, I'm more in my feelings. And so, but I try to be optimistic as much as I possibly can, because it's true. You will attract what you're putting off.
Yeah.
If you put off negative vibes, you're going to attract a bunch of negative Nancys that are going to be right there with you.
Yeah.
Doing the commiserate parade right there with you, where if you're optimistic, you'll attract people that are going to kind of have that same optimism. Those optimistic people aren't going to try to come drag you out of the negative Nancy parade. They're going to be like, we'll see you later.
So Andy, why don't you read the next one?
Being defeated is often a temporary condition. Giving up is what makes it permanent. So, we're all gonna face defeat. Gonna have things that don't go our way, but whether we decide to move forward or whether we decide to give up makes that condition permanent. So if you've never experienced a defeat, it means you're not trying, that you're not pushing yourself.
That's so true.
So,
can you think of a time that you felt defeated but you kept trying and you persevered through that?
Yeah, whenever I was wanting to get hired for my last job, I had spent a significant amount of time stretched, doing an internship and also running a business And I got to a point where you and I both felt defeated about it. And we actually had gotten to a point where we said, we've got to set a season for this and a time frame where if something doesn't happen, we're going to have to move on. And this was after the fact that a position very early on was going to open up, and then everything changed, and it didn't. But in the end, the position that I was hired for was far better than the position that I would have had in the beginning.
Right.
So it all worked out. But if I had, given up, I would have never seen what was down the road for me.
So true. That's so true. Okay, the next one. You can't knock on opportunity's door and not be ready, which I love this because it speaks to always being prepared and not being caught off guard and making sure we're doing all that hard work in advance. Even when we don't see it, come immediately to that fruition.
Often we're not allowed to open a door because we're not ready to open that door. Speaking to the previous comment, I think that there were some things that I needed to work on to get ready for the position that was going to come available to me, and it just took me a while to get there. Where if I had looked in the beginning and said, okay, how do I need to develop? What is it that I need to learn from this? How do I need to get better? I might have had that door opened a lot sooner, but I was too focused on, why isn't this happening? Why did the other position go away and everything else? So, just remember, if there's a door that you want to open and it's not opening for you, think about what it is that you might need to learn or develop in that time or in that situation. Is there something that I'm being told about this that I need to work on to be ready for that door to open?
That's good. The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any.
This is something that I forget about a lot of times, and I will tell you, you never know who is watching and what kind of influence you have on them. In everything you do, you have power over somebody, children, staff, whoever it is, but there are people watching everything you do, and you can have an influence positively or negatively depending on how you use that or steward it. I forget about that a lot of times, and then I'll have somebody say something about, oh, I saw you doing this, or I saw that, and I'm like, oh man, I wasn't even thinking about that. And so you need to be aware that no matter what you're doing, where you're at, there's somebody watching, and you have influence and power.
That's true. Even in the education, especially as teachers, all of the children that our teachers are coming into contact with, a lot of times are viewed as role models to their students. And if our students see us react a certain way or do a certain thing, they may feel like they should also do the same. I think that there's power, like when we were talking earlier about our words, and I can think over the years in my career, children that I've influenced over the years, just being kind and saying positive things about their abilities, with how wonderful I think they are. Even grown, they still remember that and talk about how much fun they had in my class and how I always made them feel special. Even when I couldn't remember their names.
Well, this is something that is really a good tip to remember. If someone isn't what you want them to be, speak into them what you see them being, not what they are.
Oh, that's so strong. That's super strong, especially for our children in our classes that are struggling with their behavior or getting along with other people. Maybe they have some anger or some other issues going on that's motivating that behavior, and talking through that with them and helping them see beyond. So that's amazing. Well, thanks, hon.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you talking with us today. We hope y'all got something out of this. We hope you enjoyed sitting in our kitchen with us today. And we'll come back to you guys another day and with some more topics. Hope you have a wonderful and beautiful day. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining us for part 2 of The Power of Positive Thinking. We look forward to having you at Kitchen Talk another day with the Baileys.